Greetings that are friendly, it's me, the Necrofessor. You know, as time creeps forward, it's important to never lose sight of where you came from. But, what if you don't know where your ancestors hailed? Or where you left your time-traveling paths? What if your bloodline is skewed and morphed and changed over the centuries and everything's just a big old genetic mashup of madness? Well, worry not! Because you see, in a world of unpredictability, you can always count on a good plague. You see, the bubonic plague has aged right along with humanity. And now there's evidence to support that the plague may be responsible yet again for helping us to patch some of the holes in history regarding mysterious drops in population about 5,000 years ago, and its influx of traveling folks hailing from the Eurasian steppe. An article from CNN writes, scientists previously thought that the plague arrived in Europe with migrants from the Eurasian steppe, who effectively moved in and replaced the Neolithic communities. The steppe is a belt of grassland that runs from modern-day Hungary through Ukraine and Central Asia, then east to China. Steppe peoples moved from the region for most of recorded history, according to Encyclopedia Britannica. However, the discovery of the plague reached northern Europe far earlier suggests that the disease arrived before the Eurasian migrants. The study suggests that the plague started as a human disease in a mega-settlements of 10,000 to 20,000 people were built starting about 6,000 years ago. Poor sanitation and the concentration of people, animals, and food may have allowed the plague to develop into a dangerous disease. After that, it didn't take much for the bubonic plague to sweep through many of these mega-settlements and force a number of our Neolithic ancestors to head through the Eurasian steppe in search of less plague-ridden pastures. Understandably, when your friends and family are rotting all around you, it's time to gear up and ship out. As trade continued throughout the early continents, it only sought to propagate this early plague, which predates the Black Plague by 6,300 years. But plagues just aren't for the old and dusty. Even in modern times, new strains of contemporary plagues are abundant. In 2017, Madagascar suffered an epidemic of bubonic plague, resulting in over 2,500 reported cases of the plague, as well as claiming the lives of over 220 people.
Yersinia pestis, also known as the bubonic plague, is a bacterial infection that affects rodents and small animals, transmitting the disease to parasitic fleas which feed on the blood. When the fleas contract this peculiar element, it creates a biofilm which blocks the foregut and results in regurgitation of infected blood back into the mammalian host. This is how the plague known as Yersinia pestis is spread.
This young lady, known as Individual A, was found in Gughem, Sweden, in an ancient burial site along with 78 other bodies. They found that her and another's nearby remains contained the earliest traces of bubonic plague ever to be uncovered. This contributes to the predominant theories about how communities dispersed in early times due to unknown reasons, perhaps explaining why some settlements were built and seemingly abandoned or burned to the ground. It also challenges the mysteries surrounding how early plagues had spread much faster than migration evidence supported. By utilizing trade routes, this grandpa plague was terrorizing early civilization and hitching rides along with trade routes like a lingering ghost, terrorizing and testing some of our ancestors during some of the earliest moments of our growth across the planet. A plague in the right spot created conditions for these Neolithic folks to traverse the lands, and in doing so, irrevocably altered the genetic course of history. So, congratulations to Individual A. You hold the coveted Oldest Known Plague Award. I'm quite jealous. If anyone has connections to the laboratory who performed these tests, hook me up with a sample of that plague. I'd like to perform some tests of my own. So until next time, stay creepy.